us to address the issues at the school here and teach the kids and further their education. We just thank you for everything that you do for us in this life and help us not to take that for granted. And let this meeting be according to your will and give us guidance and wisdom always, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. I think Amy Money's got a presentation right up front. That's what it says here. You're first.
Thank you, Amy, for presenting tonight.
Yeah. Is it on? Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I wanted to come back and talk to the board a little bit tonight about the cafeteria program, specifically the funding mechanism of that program. The last time I was here back in November, I did give you guys some updates. Can everybody see that okay? Okay, I wanted to give you guys some updates. And since then, had a couple meetings. I wanted to come back and talk because I feel like it's kind of important. We're halfway through the school year that we kind of make a decision or get our brains going, thinking forward to how are we going to continue to fund the cafeteria program. Okay. And that's not my decision to make. I feel like it is up to the board, but also to the members of the community. And so I just wanted to come tonight and kind of present some information that I have gathered, also statistics and things that I've gotten, and even looked at in years past. As far as, do we want to continue the CEP program, or do we want to revert back to paid meals? And I can tell you from talking to other food service directors, this is something we are definitely not alone. There's a lot of schools that have already, kind of gone through this process. And so just want to kind of go over the pros and cons of each, like I said, and just share information and certainly answer any questions that anyone would have. So first of all, the benefits of the CEP program. So the CEP program is called it's CEP, it's Community Eligibility Provision. Okay, this was started during COVID. And our school has maintained the CEP program for the last 4 years. Lots of other schools have not been able to maintain the CEP program, but we have. We've kept it going for 4 years. The benefits, I put it up here. With CEP, all kids eat free, regardless. It has definitely, over the years, looking at our production records, everything that I can find, our number of meals has drastically increased over the last 4 years. So even this year, when I started, I can see we've increased specifically our breakfast numbers. But more kids are eating meals at school when they're free. I do feel like I have no statistic for this, but I do feel like just in talking and knowing my community members, it's very convenient for our families and our students. Nobody has to worry. They know every kid gets free breakfast and lunch every day, regardless. It reduces time. I put reduces time managing student accounts. I don't manage student accounts at all. Okay, that's not exactly true. There are some kids who they pay for snacks, like a bag of chips or a Gatorade or a fruit roll-up. But as far as nutritious meals, I don't have to worry about collecting people who haven't paid for their kids' meals. I don't spend any time doing that. And so I feel like that one hits home for me specifically, because that's really not something that I have to, that's in my wheelhouse. I don't have to worry about that. If we decide to move away from the CEP program, the first thing I want to say is it's very important. If we leave the CEP program, any family who would qualify, who meets the state requirements, will still get free or reduced meals. I think that's very important to know, that if we decide to move away from CEP, the free and reduced meals are still free and reduced. That will never change. And I think it's very important to know that. Financially, paid meals are a self-sustaining option. So if you weren't here at the November meeting, I'll tell you, I gave an update about the program, and the same night we asked for a rainy day transfer of $15,000 to cover the cafeteria debt. We ended up not needing all of that money, but with the CEP, it's free, but nothing's free. Okay, so CEP only pays us 80%. And so we're constantly incurring debt. With paid lunches, it's just that. It's paid. Meals are all paid for by the parents or by the state. And so that would be, to me, that would be a big benefit if we decide to move away from CEP. I don't see that we would be incurring more debt to our corporation. That's a big benefit. The negatives, obviously both have negatives. CEP, like I just mentioned, CEP is kind of guaranteed to incur debt at some level. Last year we were bailed out. I believe the amount was over $290,000. In September, we had to have $6,000, and that money is transferred from the school's rainy day fund. And so currently, my cafeteria is in debt to another school fund, a little over $300,000. And I'm not going to lie, I can't even fathom that amount of money. That's a lot. We have decreased that this year, but it's still, I feel like with the CEP, that's kind of something that we've seen through the years, the 4 years that we've had it. It's going to incur debt. The negatives with the paid, if we decide to leave CEP and we go the paid route, there are statistically, again, this I have looked at numbers, way less kids are going to eat. Way less. And I'm trying to think. So the last year that I found, so today, for example, we serve 300 breakfast and 400 lunch consistently every day, usually more. I'm trying to be conservative. So the numbers, looking back into our production records and what we did before, lunch was less than 200. Breakfast was less than 100. I mean, it was just not very many kids were eating. Another thing that you run into with the paid option, I hear a lot of conversation from other schools in my cooperative about how they deal with negative accounts. There are several schools who they have to have someone who deals with collections constantly, collecting on accounts. Also, their students are given different meal options. So let's just say that I pay for my lunch, I go, I get the school meal, and another student right next to me who has a negative account balance, they haven't paid for their meal, they get a different tray of food than I do. Some schools literally, like, they get a sandwich and a cup of water. That's what they get to, you know what I mean? That's what they get to eat. But a lot of schools are faced with this. I feel like if we decide to go away from the CEP, there would have to be another staff member, or there would have to be help to be managing those accounts. And again, that's what I'm hearing from my other schools that I'm talking to. It's pretty much at least someone that their part-time or full-time job would be just trying to handle those negative accounts. Another thing that I think, again, and I don't have data for this, but I do think that it may cause some financial hardship for some of our families. You know, we've been doing the CEP program for 4 years, and that may be kind of a hit to families with young kids. That's maybe all they know. And then if we decide to move away from it, all of a sudden they may have to pay some or all. And so I think that's something to consider. If we move away from CEP, we would have to restructure our wellness and food safety and meal charging policies too. So there would be some, logistically, we'd have to sit and hash all that out. That would all have to change. So, like I said, those are kind of the positives, negatives. So, Dr. Lanham and I sat down, and after semester 1, we've been brainstorming and crunching numbers, and we came up with this dollar figure, $30. So if we had $30 for every active student that's on our roster, we could offset that semester 1 debt, then some. We were thinking, okay, so semester 1 we were negative $6,000. So we took that times 2, and we said, okay, so in one school year, if we are negative $12,000, how do we offset that? And this would do it. So $30. If we had $30 for every kid, we could keep the CEP, and we're not worrying about a lot of those negatives that come with paid lunch. And so, to me, that seems like not so much. $30 for every kid. I don't want to say to the board, we should do this or we should do that. But I would request that if I could ask for like a corporate sponsorship, not necessarily a donation, but I feel like if we had like an annual community partner who would donate to our cafeteria fund on an annual basis, I think that we could keep the CEP program. I also just, living here all of my life, I feel like before we would decide to move away from CEP, there's a lot of people that might, that would do the work that would maybe help us keep it going. I also feel like, I learn more every day. There are things that we can do within, within school, hosting fundraisers and having events in the cafeteria that could raise money for us also for the cafeteria. And so, I think that if you look at the CEP versus paid route, if you look at it from like a business perspective, and the school corporation is a business. A lot of people, I think, lose sight of that, but we are a business. So the business part of it's like, it seems like really black and white to me. You know what I mean? So this is costing us all this money. Why don't we just axe it? But the school is so much more than that. You know what I mean? Yes, it's a corporation. But I know all of us here, we come here every day because we want our kids to have the very best that they can. And so, like I said, financially, it may seem like a no-brainer. But I know you guys don't take this stuff lightly. You know what I mean? I would really love the chance to see if we could work together, if we could reach out, if we could keep the CEP program going. That is my hope. That's all I have. If you guys have any questions, anyone in the community has questions, I would encourage you to reach out. Any concerns or issues that
On your $30 per child, you're talking about enrollment, right? Enrollment numbers per $30 times enrollment.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what we were. Yeah, that's what we were thinking. Like, hey, if we could have, almost like a how we do Angel Tree. Sponsor a child. It doesn't have to be like, hey, give me $10,000. Well, what if someone would sponsor, 2 students? We can't charge a fee. Like we can't. I've reached out to my field representative from the state, and she was very in the CEP paperwork that we signed. It's very clear we cannot charge a fee, but donations and fundraising, those are ways that she said other schools have maintained their CEP status. So I was just, like I said, we were just thinking, hey, could we ask for that rather than asking for a large lump sum? Could we ask for sponsorships for our kids? And that was just, like I said, that was just an idea, that we thought of. But to just break it down like that, $30 a kid doesn't seem like that much. And it would kind of make this, we wouldn't have to worry about constantly owing the corporation money. And whenever I boiled it down to that, I was like, gosh, it's really not that, not that much. So yeah, just some things to think about. And like I said, I would definitely, if the board sees fit, I would like to reach out to businesses and organizations within our community and see if it's possible. But like I said, that's, if we decide that we want to keep it, how can we make it more sustainable? Oh yeah.
I agree.
Well, because we were thinking, think about the Angel Tree program, all the things that, people will sponsor a child. Or yes, I do. Like I said, before we decide to go away from it, like, can we give it a shot? Let's try it. Can we try it? So that is all I have. If no one has any questions, thank you guys very much for your time.
Sure, thanks. Appreciate you doing all that.
Yeah, I appreciate
Those kids
you guys.
are loving lunch.
Yeah.
I was in there the other day. They were having chili.
They do.
What's the cost of a lunch? If you had
Well, and in that, I cannot tell you. I can tell you adult pricing, all of that rubric, the entire thing would change if we leave CEP. So, and I can find that out for you for sure. I can email, but I don't know what they. Yeah, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at other numbers, but I can get that. But yeah, with the CEP, we fluctuate, like our adult prices fluctuate, but the kids, yeah, it's very different. The CEP versus paid rate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, approval of the minutes from the January 8th meeting. Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Comments from patrons concerning items on the agenda? Okay. You guys are up.
All right. So in the elementary, some exciting news for our second grade and fourth and fifth grade this week. We were able to be the first stop in ROI's new Momentum Microelectronics Mobile. So if you look at the pictures, it's the top middle picture. And Kristen Johnson, the K-12 outreach coordinator. So the Mobile provides engaging hands-on sessions that introduce students to real-world skills, exciting career pathways, and growing opportunities within rural advanced manufacturing and technology. So I stopped by the second grade classrooms yesterday, and they were having a ball. Like, students were engaged. They were doing activities on the floor with some STEM activities. So this was out of 18 districts, I think, is what ROI goes to in different schools. Shoals was the first one to get to have the mobile lab here. So she was in fourth grade today, and then she'll be in fifth grade tomorrow and Friday. But then there's forms that other teachers, middle school teachers, high school teachers, they can fill out, and she will come and bring grade level appropriate lessons to share with all students. Our kindergarten team, they've been actively preparing for Kindergarten Roundup, which is scheduled for March 6th here at Shoals Elementary. We look forward to welcoming all future Jug Rocks families. Students and families can sign up on our website, or they can call the elementary office to schedule an appointment. We will have physicals free of charge. Dr. Jonathan Kropp and Christina Troutman, they will be here volunteering their time the morning hours. So if any student needs a physical, they will be able to get that here as well. Our winter sports season is coming to a close. We extend sincere thank you to our coaches, parents, and student athletes. We are proud of the character and teamwork displayed by all of our young Jug Rocks. I was able to go attend a second and third grade tournament this past weekend at Lagodi, and there's some pictures there of our young second and third grade team. It was quite a turnout. The boys played extremely well, and this week they'll play in a tournament in Du Bois. I think they've got some games scheduled here coming up on the 27th. I think they're going to play a couple games. Hoosiers for the Humane Society. This was a school corporation-wide effort. Over 3,000 pounds of pet food and supplies were brought in by students and families, and they were all donated to the Martin County Humane Society. And I did hear back from the Humane Society, and they were just overwhelmed and so appreciative of everything that our students and families provided. So it was a great way for our students to learn how to give back to their community and have fun doing it. And I'm sure I know everyone enjoyed the delay that they were working so hard for. Synchronous learning was something new that we were all going to do, and the attendance for our grade level, for all grades, kindergarten through fifth grade, was very strong. I think the most that we had absent were 2 students in a couple classes, but the majority of the class had full attendance. Teachers and parents communicated if they did not have internet or if they were not unable. They worked that out well. So I was very proud, and the live instruction that the teachers did was very very well. And I think the students had fun too. And we went back and we said, okay, we're gonna maybe do this differently next time. and maybe incorporate a couple more breaks, especially for our young learners, kindergarten, first and second grade. We saw a lot of tap bellies and pets and, oh, let me go get this and stuff. So
Somebody mentioned chicken. They had a chicken.
yeah. So there was all kinds of during show and tell, but it was fun. I guess they made the best of it. Our second and third grade students and teachers are preparing for the upcoming iRead assessment. This will take place in March, and they're focusing on just doing their intentional literacy foundation skills. They are offering tutoring after school for any student free of charge. And then pictures here. I know I said we have the Momentum Mobile. There's a couple pictures of the items that were brought in for the Humane Society. Kindergarten today, they had a Valentine's kind of parent party. So students were able to invite a special someone to come in, and parents or guardians were able to attend a fun. We played Valentine's bingo and made a craft. So, any questions?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Oh, I do have one. The Valley, we doing okay up there? I know Sandy's got a lot going on.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'll make
Maybe.
it fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I have one.
I guess not. Thank you. Here.
We got another one. They're all the same. Mine are all the same.
Okay, she needs one back.
She had two.
Okay.
I should have kept it before.
Should have known better. 25 years in the class.
We got it.
A little incompetent here. So bear with us.
Gotta know who you're dealing with here.
What's your exactly right?
Okay, I'm going to start with the one that says February board minutes and shout outs at the top. That's the middle school. So I wanted to give a shout out to the middle school staff for their continued flexibility to meet the needs of our students with a week of synchronous learning and then a week of 2-hour delay schedule. I hopped in and out of Google Meets throughout that week, and our students and teachers really were rocking it. The middle school had 96% attendance for the week. So we have very few kids. And we did have some spotty internet here and there, but for the most part, they got right back on as soon as they could. So it was great. So I also wanted to give a special shout out to Daniel Turpin and Christina Gardner. They were also very flexible the week of the 2-hour delays because they volunteered to come in early at 7 a.m. for the parents who could drop off. And they had also already agreed to stay late because we did a week of study tables because we did have a couple of kids who were kind of falling behind. We did have a couple of kids that did not have internet for the week of synchronous learning. And after their efforts, we took our F list from 35 the week before to 25. So in just 1 week of study tables, we dropped the number of failing grades in the middle school significantly.
Great.
Shoals Middle School also participated in the National Kindness event on Thursday, February 3rd. And then Mrs. Hoffman and Miss Harder, they have a couple things going on in PE and health. One of them is we're working with the Martin County Health Department to do a vaping, smoking, tobacco cessation kind of program to educate our middle school kids. And then they have 17 Presidential Fitness Award recipients across 2 testing rounds. And that aligns with the program's focus on long-term growth, effort, and personal improvement. And so I've given you the list of the latest winners. And it's super fun to watch those kids because they do get a milkshake or a drink or a treat
once they hit that mark. So it's really fun to watch them walk around with a milkshake after they've hit that goal. Kind of ironic to me, but whatever.
This was brought back after years, right? This presidential fitness,
Yes,
like
it
they
is.
didn't do it for years, and now this year it came back.
Yeah.
We remember all of us having to do that when we were kids, and now they brought it back.
Yeah. Beta Club parents are going to host a middle school dance this Friday, the 13th. So I'm interested to see how that goes, but we're going to have a good time, I'm certain. And then our 8th graders are going to participate in the reality store Friday, February 20th. That is also the afternoon when they come back. They're going to take tours of all of our pathway programs in the high school so they can start getting a better idea of what they want to sign up for when it's time to do schedule for their first freshman year of high school. In terms of teacher accountability, our teachers are participating in professional development on Friday, February 27th. We're also going to be reviewing some literacy standards and best practices to use in the classroom so that we can continue to work on our students' reading and writing skills. We're also going to be poring over some student data to facilitate student schedules next year as we navigate new course requirements and the placements for 26-27. So the state has rolled out what's called auto enrollment for mathematics next year, which means if a student is testing above grade level in mathematics, they are automatically enrolled in the next grade level course. And so we'll have some new things going on in terms of the mathematics course. We also have some new guidelines coming out for Tier 2 and Tier 3 support for literacy and mathematics. And so the schedule is going to have to be adapted to meet the specific needs of each kiddo. And then coming up, we got a lot going on. PD, the 8th grade reality store, PD, regional beta will be in March. And then how fun is it to finally see spring break? It's coming up in a month. Got to have something to look forward to. So that's middle school. And then Kendra couldn't be here this evening, so the next page is the high school update. She wanted to congratulate the Jug Rocks robotics team for advancing to the state championship. They were one of the 4 who advanced from the qualifying event that Shoals hosted this last weekend. A total of 29 teams were competing, and they also won the Robot Design Award. And I have to add in, I got to judge this year. That was my first experience with the robotics competition, and that was really cool. Just really,
Thank you
really
for
cool.
doing that.
So-
and thank you also for the staff that was, you judged, robot early in the morning, you
Yeah.
judged, and then the IT people were here all day, taking care of everything, and nothing seemed to go wrong that I know of. I think it went smooth. This is their second year, but there's always something with IT that, doesn't look
never
right,
know.
but everything seemed to go well. And then Joe and Larry putting the tarps down, making sure that was taken care of. The temperature was right. All those things that
Mhm.
you get a crowd of people in. And then hopefully everything was back to where it needed to be. Classrooms, and then Amy and in the cafeteria. I checked it all. We took out the trash, everything, like that. But anyway.
And Sarah hosted a wonderful volunteer room with food.
Yeah,
and
Sarah, and the culinary class did a great job with that. There was just all kinds of different, and they loved the school. The people that came in said this is such a nice school, and it's clean, and it's, we love the location, we love the parking, we love the hot food for the volunteers.
The kids love the key fobs. The rooms with the key fobs. The kids from the other schools, they thought it was.
Really?
Yep. A couple of them asked,
Oh.
can you tell me about this? And one of the coaches from another school said, our kids are fascinated. They feel like they're deprived if they don't have key fobs. So it was very interesting, but it
That's
was,
all. Yeah.
How many schools was involved?
There were 29. Supposed to be 31, but a couple of them couldn't come, so we had 29. And some teams have, it's anywhere from 10 to 15. Some have fewer, but Avon brought all 5 of their teams, so they had a massive amount of people. And things seemed to go well. Very, very few issues, really nothing major of any kind. And so, like I said, they like coming here, and
It was a very cool
and
experience.
it opens up the town to people
Mhm.
in the school, and hopefully they did business in town. We try to promote, put out information, and Fantastics, they made a deal on the pizzas, so the teams could order pizza. That's something they do usually in the bigger places we go.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked out really well. That they were able to order those at a discount. She delivered to us, so
Wow.
no one had to go out and pick them up. It wasn't not that far, but if you don't know the town and don't have
Mhm.
time to go out there, it takes away from the time because the kids are running through those all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, everything went really well. And they like the space. Sometimes we're in a very, very cramped location. And here with the 2 levels, it worked out. It looks like you just have tons of room, and a more relaxed atmosphere.
I have to say kudos to Matthew and Eli. They worked last week, and the sound system is great.
Yeah, it did work
worked
well.
great.
You said it would work well, and it did. You could hear what they were saying,
Good.
everything. So
We found the little snag. I didn't. Let me rephrase that. Matthew and Eli found the little snag last week, and it worked amazingly.
Awesome.
Okay. Kendra also wanted to give a shout out to the students and staff for making the most of their synchronous learning. Overall attendance was pretty good. She said she and Allison enjoyed calling the students to get them out of bed and get them back online. So they also celebrated National Kindness Week school-wide. And a big thanks to Erin Cage and Megan Hawkins for planning the dress-up days and the various activities each day to celebrate the kindness event. At the end of the month, high school will be celebrating National FFA Week. Miss Overton has planned dress-up days along with activities for both the middle school and the high school buildings, with the big event being Drive Your Tractor to School Day. We look forward to promoting agriculture in our community. Along with this, Megan and Ben's ag classes are having their annual Farmers Appreciation Breakfast on February 19th to honor all of our local farmers. We invite all the farmers to come and enjoy a breakfast provided by our ag and construction trade students. The breakfast will be at 9 a.m. Ms. Hovis is currently planning a Rise Above Week to be held the week of March 9th through the 13th. This week will focus on empowering middle school and high school students to make healthy, informed choices and build strong futures. Throughout the week, they will hear from various guest speakers who will deliver presentations focused on substance abuse prevention, the real effects of vaping, the dangers of drinking and driving, and mental health awareness. This initiative will also address peer pressure, stress, decision-making, and everyday challenges that preteens and teens both face. We aim to provide our students with education and positive coping strategies so they can rise above negative influences, and we hope to send students off on spring break with a positive mindset. Freshman orientation is right around the corner and will be held on March 5th at 6 p.m. Families will receive information on the new graduation requirements, on the pathway opportunities, and our early college program. And finally, SAT testing is on March 4th. All juniors must participate. Shout out to Danielle for making contact to ensure students and parents are aware of this requirement. A ready test will be given on February 19th.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. Personnel, we have approval of the following coaches. For softball, we got Michael Jones, high school head coach, Brooklyn Jones, JV coach, high school volunteers, Jim Potts, Sydney Davis, and Tony Graber. Tony Graber as our junior high head coach, and Teresa Ray as junior high volunteer. Baseball, we have Cody Bauer as middle school head coach. And then track, we have Josh Ritardo as boys varsity coach. We have a resignation of Larry Jones from the custodial position effective January 22nd, and approval to hire Michael Weininger as substitute custodian. Motion to approve all those.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Lorna and Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Fundraisers, elementary beta to hold a pay the date calendar fundraiser February 4th through the 18th for Beta Leadership Summit and National Convention. High school track and field to sell t-shirts February 13th through March 13th. Elementary beta to sell Easter minis with Heidi's 3D prints February 15th through March 1st to help fund the Leadership Summit and National Convention. High school girls basketball to sell Merkley meats February 20th through March 21st. Girl Scout troop to set up a cookie booth on February 13th, boys varsity game. And high school nutrition program to host a Super Bowl chili cook-off and marketing strategies in February. Motion to approve those fundraisers.
I'll motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll second it.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Trip request, FAA to Hornady Park in Petersburg, February 6th to attend the District 10 FFA dance and social event. Engineering students to IU on February 21st for the high school drone build workshop and competition. High school academic bowl to North Knox on March 5th for competition. Junior beta to Gatlinburg on, it's March 11th through the 13th for National Regional Leadership Summit. Senior English class to IU Southeast on April 10th to see Clue, the musical. High school academic teams for the academic bowl competition on April 21st, destination to be determined. Middle school academic bowl on May 2nd for competition, destination to be determined. First grade to Crane Westgate Academy on May 18th for the engineer in training program. Motion to approve those trips.
I'll motion.
Eva, need a second. Nat, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Miscellaneous, we have sports physicals by Davis Martin Medical on April 2nd. ERS wireless proposal. E-rate equipment purchases. Shoals Early Rocks handbook. Early Rocks open house for families March 24th, scheduled for 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Motion to approve those.
I'll make.
Annette?
Yeah.
Second? Second, Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Resolutions, teacher appreciation grant, stipend payments. 1003 flexibility waiver resolution for the 26-27 school calendar year. Motion to approve those.
I'll motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll second it.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
And that's the waiver days, correct?
Yeah, the 2-hour delays for 26, 27.
Events, kindergarten roundup, March the 6th, and elementary spring music program, May the 15th. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Matt and Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Facility usage, spa to use the main and auxiliary gyms for the spring home show on the evening of March 6th and all day March 7th. Hoosier Uplands open house to use cafeteria the afternoon of March the 10th. Motion to approve.
I'm going to abstain from that since I put the request in for this fall.
Okay.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All right, Ethan and Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
401. Items after 4, trip request. Healthcare class to Harvest Health in Lagodi, February 18th. Girls softball team to IU softball game on March 14th. High school biology class to various Martin County cemeteries for data collection. FFA to the District 10 FFA meeting and volleyball tournament at Perry Central High School, May the 4th. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Lorna and Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Personnel, approval of Daniel Smoot as substitute teacher, approval to move Hannah Smoot from classroom aide to substitute teacher, termination of second shift custodian effective February 6th, approval of Martin Evans as substitute custodian, Christina Gardner as volunteer with middle school track team, approval of Allison Taylor as corporation secretary, ECA, and deputy treasurer effective June 1st of 26, approval of Sonia Pruitt as full-time second shift custodian pending positive outcome of paperwork. Motion to approve those folks.
Motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll second it.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Another under personnel, we have the approval of stipend for Tracy Letourneau for the DHH position of $3,900. Motion to approve. Net, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Aye.
That would be a 4-1.
Two.
Oh, sorry.
And I understand the
Sorry.
situation, and I just want to make it clear that all the teachers do go the second mile, and it is a big deal to us. But I think they all do. So that was based on that decision.
And also, I'll say something also
Okay.
about this is, I don't want to take away from what you do provide. I understand that. But like she said, there are teachers who do other special services for students that we're not able to provide the same level of stipend. And so that's just a concern of mine. And that's why I voted the way I did.
Okay, so that ended up being 3-2.
Mhm.
Facility usage, science fair in the auxiliary gym, March 11th, with STEM night following from 4 to 6 p.m. Lions Club members are requested to use the grassy area in front and the side of the school grounds for the annual Easter egg hunt on April the 4th.
We're talking Easter already.
I know. Right around the corner.
Easter thing.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And for information only, stage updates, please see attached paper and FEMA certificate of substantial completion and preschool interest form. FEMA technology updates in the new FEMA structure in the amount of $20,594.24. Motion to approve that.
You guys want to, so we have to connect the new building to this building when it comes to technology and our cameras and our sound and all of those pieces to the puzzle. So that that's what that $20,000 is for all of those technical
Sure.
sides, new projectors and things like that to make sure that those two rooms have the technology side of things that they need.
It's almost there.
February 24th is the open
This
house.
one?
Motion to approve that amount.
All motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Job description of paraprofessionals in life skills classroom.
You need a description on that?
Yes, please.
Thanks to Tracy and Carrie. They helped me to finalize the verbiage on that. Let me find my document. Apologize. What we stated was that paraprofessionals who work with students who have self-care skills written in their IEP would receive $1.50 an hour raise. And thanks to these ladies and Emily Dykstra for helping us to determine that. And I greatly appreciate their input on that and clarifying that we worked collaboratively. And I'm very thankful that they were able to help get that lined out. And we're
Right.
excited.
I have a question on that. Is that rate going to be back to variable base?
We did not determine that. I mean, we could do that if that's what you
That's what
want.
we approved it.
Yes,
So, I mean, I think it should go back. to
that sounds
rate.
This one was
Okay, we
approved.
approved it.
good. Works for me.
Okay.
Darla,
Motion- oh.
work for you?
What was that date again, January? From the last
It was the last
Okay.
meeting. We
Mhm.
I think we approved
Yep.
I
those
thought it was an
raises.
extra one. I couldn't remember which one.
I think it
So-
was just. I think it was just a matter of clarifying
Yeah.
When it went.
the
Who?
job
The
description and
description.
who
Yep.
exactly was going to be.
Right.
Okay. Motion to approve that job description.
I'll motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Events, permission for Summer League board members to set up in the high school lobby February 21st and February 28th for Summer League T-ball, baseball, and softball signups. Motion to approve that.
I'll motion.
Ethan, second. Ned, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contract proposal for ERS wireless radio communication updates and repairs.
You want a little background on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we are looking at our radios because sometimes we have a hard time communicating with our buses, mainly with the handheld radios. And I will just say that Larry Hembry has been a very patient man with me. And this gentleman from ERS has been here multiple times to help us to figure out there's a glitch or a problem. So this proposal will help us to be better able to communicate really with our buses that are further out of town when they're down in the valleys and along the river and on the northern part of the county. That's a big conversation Larry and I have had. I guess it's been happening for a little while, and we decided that we needed to dive in and really get that looked at and repaired. And I have to commend Larry Hembry time and time again for really working to make sure that we have the right pieces in place. And I think the gentleman is 95% sure that these updates will work. Plus, we have 56 radios, and all 56 will have the same channels moving forward.
Does he got to reprogram the radios?
Yes. And we will have a 100-watt repeater instead of a 50-watt repeater. And we'll have this nice giant antenna instead of the antenna we have. And we have to thank Melvin Albright because he's been a part of this also, because I didn't know this, but we have a repeater out on his property, and they were out there today, and he's been very good to work with, and it's been a great learning experience for the ERS gentleman as well.
Nice.
Okay, thanks for that. Motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion.
One second. Annette, all in favor?
Aye.
Fundraiser, Junior Beta parents to host a sweetheart fundraiser dance on February 13th in the cafeteria. Motion to approve.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
And Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Good luck with that. Good hear me. Okay, that brings us to the superintendent's report.
Hey. So we are looking at updating our board policies and aligning our board policy and our student handbooks. And this organization, this is the Indiana School Board Association, and they do this policy services will help us to walk through these policies. We have our policies now we have a PDF version of them, and we have them online as well. But the board policy, after we get this introduction to updating what we have, they will continue to do that year after year with us. And I have had the opportunity to talk with the attorney. Her name is Julie Slavin, and she has really talked about what a collaborative partnership that will be to do that, and I'm kind of excited. Well, research, my research brain is loving that. So that is one of the things that we're going to be doing.
How many policies we have?
Right now, she said they will update up to 20 of our policies. We will be doing that, and I will have more updates as soon as those are all done, and we have that aligned with our handbook. And the goal is by next year we'll have those things aligned and moving forward. As I had said last month, that we would always keep you abreast of the fund dollar amount. Today is count day. Well, actually Friday. Friday is count day. We have 564 kids.
Yeah.
So what that does is every in the fall and in the winter we have to report to the state our enrollment numbers. And our enrollment was 565. We've really stayed very steady at that 565, 564. And then our beginning balance. So our school budget runs from January to December. It is not as like our school year, so that's sometimes a little tricky to understand. And it's really funny. I have to thank Kendra Wright and Darla for their patience with me, and I talk about the school year and the money. So it's been very interesting learning for both sides because we're looking at setting up specific budgets for specific departments. And so Kendra and her math brain and my education brain, we're trying to come together so that we have common language. So we're getting our lingo down. But so our revenue is what we take in, and what we are really looking at every month is what we bring in and what we spend out. And then this number right here is we want to make sure that we balance. It's kind of like you with your home budget, right? You have to try to balance that out over the year. So this is where we are right now, and we are just going to keep every month. This is going to get bigger and bigger, and we're just going to keep providing that information and for you. This is for our education fund. Remember, this is the bucket that it's the classroom. Yeah, I'm laughing because I need my buckets. Like this is a bucket. So in this bucket, this is the amount we have to spend, and this is on our classroom. Anything directly related to student services comes out of that bucket. This next bucket is our operations fund. Now there's a couple of tricks to this one. This is high because what happens with our FEMA building is that we pay it and then they pay us back. So right now, we paid it, we're waiting for them to pay us back. So that's why that number is high, is because we have paid and then FEMA pays us back. And it is really interesting to hear Kendra Wright. Boy, if they don't get that, she's calling them, she's checking, and I just appreciate that so much. She really has built a great relationship with those companies, and it's been a wonderful experience. And I have to say, Kendra Hovis and Ben, they've kind of started this process, and they're seeing it through. And full transparency, we are going to have an open house on February 24th, and we're going to continue to celebrate that. And I know Carrie's excited about it. I don't know. Are you more excited about the classroom or the bathrooms? I know. Yeah. Yeah. So that is the operations fund. And then this is our debt service of how things work. And this is kind of our bond money that we have. Our bond money that we have, and these unincremented balances, this is where we are. And we have no revenue or expenditures on that. So that's kind of where we are with those three buckets.
Insurance update.
Oh, insurance update. So I think Darla, that is in their packet, right? Their insurance packet.
Yep.
So our insurance update is we have this proposal from a gentleman named Brent Pfister. He is our insurance agent, and he sits down with us and goes through our insurance. And a couple of questions that we have that I need you to answer. On the second page is the breakdown of the quote But one question that Brent asked that I would like you to vote on is, so they have an option of a wind policy that right now our current deductible, if we have wind damage, is $75,000. But if we buy this additional policy, which is all the way at the bottom, it's called a buy down, and it is $4,200 insurance. Those insurance questions are always tricky. So my question to you is, would you please vote on whether we buy that down or just leave our deductible at the $75,000 that we currently have? We did receive, of course, as everybody did, a 12% increase in our insurance cost. His estimate was between 15 to 22% was kind of the going rate of the increases.
So if we buy that down, it's going to add another $4,200 to the premium, which will take it to $112,500.
Correct.
509.
Yes, $112,509.
That drops the deductible from 75,000 to
10,000
Just on wind damage.
just on wind. Mm-hmm.
How long have we had
And
it?
hail, wind and hail.
How long have we had it at 75,000?
For
Ever.
correct me if I'm wrong, Dorla, but we've been with this company EMC for as long as Brent could remember, and the deductible has been 75,000. But he wanted to bring this up because I think a lot of companies are starting to offer those things.
I see the hail being more than the wind, obviously. I mean, chances of us having hail, we do have it.
Now, is wind, is that tornado, or is that meaning tornado, or is that just wind?
I would say anything that probably the National Weather Service determines the wind
Yes,
is substantial enough to cause the damage,
right.
whether it be a tornado or a straight line, or that would be my assumption.
Well, we need to probably find out, because like my insurance at my house is straight line winds or tornadoes separate. So I don't know how that works, but I think there is some, I mean, maybe we want to find that out.
Okay, I have a question mark for that.
I mean, I hate to.
No, that's a
No,
great
that's
question.
fine.
So we want to table it until she finds out, or what do you want to do here?
I think if we can table it and find out and make a decision at that point.
So we have to pay this month. So just
We got a
soon.
few days left.
Few days
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that okay?
We can just do it by
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can.
email. or
Yeah.
text
Sounds
or
good.
something.
We'll do it by
Okay.
email. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, was that
Anything
it on
else?
that?
I just have some shout outs. Is this where I do that?
Go ahead.
That's right.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I can't say thank you enough to everybody in this room who's had to listen to my voice every day for 10 days about snow and 2-hour delays and just how great the kids have done so well with that. The teachers, community, it's been a wonderful experience. Hopefully we're done with that and we don't have to do it again. Bus drivers, shout out. Oh my goodness. Thank you, bus drivers, for all that. I mean, that is a very difficult job to have during winter snow. And they just handled it so well. Just so everybody knows, we do have school on Monday. It's one of our snow makeup days. I will be sending out a message. But we do have school on Monday. We did receive the state waiver information. What that means is we had a snow day on January 26th, and it was supposed to be made up in May, on May 22nd. The state waived that, so we don't have to make that date up. So we were very thankful. We just got that information yesterday. So once again, all of the synchronous learning and the 2-hour delay and everybody getting up early. We had over 20 kids the Wednesday, was it Wednesday? So Carol and I took one of the days that we had the kids, and I got to play a lot of fun board games with kids.
Oh, in the morning?
Yeah, the morning. But we had over 20 kids there. So it was very successful.
That's
to be able
great.
to
I was
do that.
wondering how that went.
Yeah, it was really fun, and the kids did fantastic. I kept trying to challenge them to play board games, and then finally they caved. The robotics competition, I'm not going to lie. When I said I would volunteer, I was a little nervous. I was really nervous when I went to talk to Carol, and she's like, "Have you done your training?" And I'm like, training?
Hmm.
What training?
Hmm.
And
Fine line.
I was sweating bullets on that. So kudos to you as a judge. So I got to, when the teams came in, I got to inspect them. And I got to work with a former student. What is his name? He graduated in 2019, I think he said. And he comes back to help with robotics.
Tristan Peterson.
Is that his name, Tristan?
Or
Thank you,
Alan
Tristan
Cook.
Peterson.
Yeah, probably.
He and Meg. What is his fiance's name? She and I, Gracie.
Gracie, yeah.
Yes, we got to do we got to really do the inspection. It was there's pressure. Because
Make
I guess
that
if,
decision, you're really gonna feel the pressure.
yeah, because luckily the gentleman there, he is going to be inspecting at state.
Gosh.
Yes, and he kind of gave us some pointers that we could give the kids. Believe it or not, those robots have to be 18 by 18, and those kids push it to the absolute. It's crazy. You have to be able to get a piece of paper between the scale and the robot, and there were some that we couldn't. So it was very cool. And to see all of those kids bragging on our school and just enjoying being on our campus, and they were just engaging. I thought it was fantastic. Our kids were great role models for them. I love their cool tent they had set up there, and I loved the sense of pride that they had to be able to this is our school, and it was great. So those are my thank yous and updates, and the staff did amazing over synchronous learning, and we have a lot to learn and a lot of little bumps to overcome, but we've got it. Go Jug Rock.
Since we approved it tonight, the home show, if anyone has a class or something that you want to sell something at that or promote something at it, you don't have any fee for the space. If the school function, there's no cost involved to it. So just let me know, and we'll get you on the list and set you up a booth or whatever we need to do. Yeah. Yeah, anything like that, because it's a business. Last year we tried to have just business and just like home modeling. And we had a lot of the younger people who do car detailing. They came in, and it was a chance for them to advertise there. And last year we didn't charge a fee because it was the first year. And I said, well, let's not charge this year because we don't know if anyone will even show up. I mean, you just don't know. But there was over 150, which was a lot more than our first craft show when we had like 50, maybe at the best. And so I said, we'll have to charge because we do in the fall for our craft show. And it all goes back into the school for various activities and things that the students do, or for teachers, appreciation, whatever. So it's all going back into the school system. But this year, some people had talked to us about, hey, would you care to maybe do crafts too? Because we work all winter. We don't just have fall crafts. We have crafts for spring, and we have things we make and we sell and things like that. And so I said, well, we're doing it. We might as well. So I asked for 2 gyms, but we'll just see what the numbers look like. We may just do the one. But anyway, it's just an opportunity for people to come out. And there's usually groups that sell food, different things like that. And it's just a time for people to crawl out of their hibernation, come out to the school and visit with each other and all that. So a lot of people just came out because they were just wanting to get out. We have some live plants that are here usually to be sold. It's just a mix of things. But if there's anyone who has interest or have something they want to have, let me know. It's the same thing. It'll be an 8 by 10 booth, same as before. So.
Awesome.
All right, we need a motion to approve a leave of accounting report.
I'll second.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
And approval to pay claims. Motion for that.
Motion.
Eva and Lorna?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody got anything else?
Nope.
Comments?